This is my first time doing like a review on an anime. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle Part 1 has just released, and yeah, it's good. It's very good, actually. It's weird how, of course, IGN give it a 6 out of 10, and it just says the movie is a build-up, because honestly, no. It's just not a build-up. It's a well-made movie that is honestly really great, and Rotten Tomatoes says it all, really. I will say that the last hour of this movie is honestly peak, like, actually amazing. But the first hour and a half is still really cool, too. What mostly I can remember is it's followed off from the Zenitsu versus his equal, known as Kaigaku, and it was an extremely impactful and handled very well from how Zenitsu was seen as the weak one and Kaigaku was seen as the person who was more superior. I thought that was really neat the way they portrayed that, and also how Zenitsu used a final blow from his own attack that he learned himself and he wasn't taught by their master, and I actually really like that to show how he has like he shows independence. And by the way, I just gotta say, that attack he did was actually crazy. He turned into some like crazy dragon, and I was there for it. The movie though, it literally continues right off from season 4. That's it. And then the whole intro starts playing, they play music, and then we just get thrown straight into it. We don't actually start with Zenitsu versus Kaigaku though. That it starts with actually the fight between Shinobu and Doma, which was actually the Upper Moon 2, and again was beautifully animated. Like, the animation for this entire film from start to finish is amazing, especially when it gets to the fights too. It's heated up, but it shouldn't be of any surprise because Demon Slayer is known for having like some of the best animation in anime and animation history in general. Shinobu getting revenge for her sister and having the motivation to keep on fighting is honestly giving her great character development to always keep fighting is so bittersweet, especially when she saw a phantom of her sister say that to her as well. It was handled very well, and that goes for like same of all the characters because they are so enjoyable and they're so like they're in character and they're very fun. While I've only mentioned like those parts and like the intro, a problem I do definitely find from this movie though is like the pacing. I feel like some parts felt kind of slow, and some parts honestly just needed more time to like, breathe. But either way, that is such like a small complaint that I don't even know if it's a real problem. I just feel as if the movie could have been condensed down a little bit because it's 2 hours and 35 minutes. And it's just like, it feels pretty long, but not at all to the point where it becomes boring. It's just still a very enjoyable film. And I could definitely rewatch it a bunch. But it's just like, come on, like, there's a lot of scenes with just some expedition. And it's just like, come on, you could have cut this down. The main highlight, though, in this movie, getting back to the positive side in this film, most people's highlight this entire film is easily the final hour of this movie. While the first hour and a half, like I said, was still really good and handled well, the part where Akaza appears and fights both Tanjiro and Gyu is fire. It's fire all the way from how Tanjiro fights Akaza first, then Gyu fights Akaza, then they both double attack Akaza, which is animated incredibly. Like I said, just every sword swing feels like it genuinely packs a punch, especially in the parts when Tanjiro finally learns how to access the transparent world. And it's like a world where everything is slowed down and you don't feel anything in the sense of emotion wise, and it's so satisfying to watch, especially with the animation really making this transparent world look magical. But I would say, even though that scene was really cool, I definitely think I admit that they did not need to do a whole explaining thing to how it worked. We already know about this and it just kind of feels like expedition. So it's to a point where you could have cut it out, but I guess they added it to try and add more depth to it, because in the manga I am pretty sure they did also keep that explaining part in. I'm not really sure if they actually did that, but again, it does get quite annoying at times. But either way, it goes past, and like the other stuff is still really good, that it's not like to the point where it's like, oh my gosh, why is this movie so mid? Because it's not. It's to a point where it's like you add this part in, and it's like, you don't need to add this part because I want to get to the stuff that's been shown, and the stuff that's been shown is so amazing. But either way, after this happens, Tanjiro like learns, the transparent world and then defeats Akaza. He also has to save Gyu in one part because of his regeneration. It really has some of the best like choreography I've seen. It's so good. But once that happens, Tanjiro like fades out. I'm not gonna try and spoil too much. But Tanjiro basically has a blackout, he faints, and it's just left to Gyu, but Gyu is in a point where he just can't do anything too because he is so, like, damaged and injured. So, we see this character, and then all of a sudden, this is, like, the best part for me, like, the best part for me, because in this whole film that plays, which, in that 1 hour, when they showed Akaza's backstory, because Demon Slayer fans hyped the heck out of this, and man, I do agree. That backstory was absolutely fire, and honestly is really, and like, it honestly is so sad and is one of the best backstories in anime for me, and even in fiction, because it was really deep. They made this such like a love letter for the manga too, because it's done is for the manga fans, because it's done very well in the anime, and it talks about everything, how his dad was sick and then he offed himself because of Akaza getting into fights and stealing. Then he was angry and met a person along the way which treated him similar to like a father, which also reminded him of Tanjiro. I love that parallel. He also showed his respect he had for Kizo's daughter. It went all perfect, even for him getting married to her, even to him actually getting married to her, but then they died one day, and that's how he really went insane and became evil. He realizes he doesn't want to live anymore because of how much bad he's done, and he was consumed into darkness. And it was a very sad backstory because of how Muzan was there and then took him when he was starting up his whole Upper Moon clan. But anyway, did you see the whole backstory? He does like the thing he used to kill Rengoku, the attack he was about to do on Tanjiro, and it was gonna possibly actually kill Gyu, but no. He actually does it on himself to show how he regrets everything and he just does not want to live anymore. And it's a very sweet conclusion to his character, and it's honestly beautiful. And they even end the movie off with basically Akaza dying, and it shows all the characters we know are still alive or getting healed for just setting up the second movie, and it honestly is handled very well. And honestly, that's it for the movie. It's overall a very good movie. Like I said, I do think this film had some problems, like with its pacing and expedition dumps they were doing, but it wasn't like a crazy problem that took the whole film down, because I was genuinely really enjoying the film in the cinema. And if you watched and have caught up with Demon Slayer, if you think you should watch this movie, yeah, you should personally. I mean, I guess you also kind of have to, because it literally continues pretty much right from season 4's ending, and yeah, it's a very, very good movie. I don't know if they'll do this because they did it with Mugen Train, but with Mugen Train they released the movie, but then they released the actual, they released it into episodes. So I don't know if they'll put it in episodes like in the next couple years, probably after the whole series has ended, the whole of Demon Slayer in the anime has ended. So I don't know, maybe they'll put it into episodes like right after, you know, the whole third movie is finished. But honestly, yeah, that's it. And yeah, it's a very good movie. It's very good. I guess it's quite sad now because we have to wait 2 years for the next one. It ends on a cliffhanger too, setting up the second film, and it's like, wow, we gotta wait 2 years now, which obviously kind of annoys me, and especially annoys Demon Slayer fans. I personally don't think Demon Slayer is like a crazy amazing show. I do think it's still really like very good though. I don't like season 3 or season 4 that much, but I had my fair share of likable moments with season 3. It still was just pretty okay to me though. What really took it down for me though was just like the comedy aspects, like the chibi animation, because the amount of times they used that in season 3 and 4 was just too much. It is so annoying, and it got more and more like to the point where it's like, why is there so much? Because in season 2 and 1 and Mugen Train, they had that type of comedy, but it was just like, it wasn't overused. In season 3 and 4 they just overused it so much that didn't really make me like them seasons as much, especially season 4. But I'll say this, the last episode of season 4 was pretty good, leading into Infinity Castle, which was honestly fire. So yeah, I hope Demon Slayer's back. I actually haven't read the manga. Well, I know a bit about the manga. I knew a bit about Akaza's backstory. I didn't know all of it. I know like the tiniest bit. I knew about Shinobu and like the fight between Upper Moon 2 and dying in the end too. That was pretty sad too. And yeah, it was just a very well made, solid movie. I really liked it a lot. It was very good. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. So that's pretty much it. If I had to say out of 10 what I'd give this movie, I'm going to give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.